took a look at markets this morning, and it's a bloodbath out there. But I just got done hanging out with thousands of Bitcoiners from all across the globe, and the optimism couldn't be higher. And that's because Bitcoiners know how to ride a sideways market for all that it can handle. Sure, Ryan Cohen is a billionaire with $4.5 billion on his balance sheet with no debt and raising $1.3 billion to buy Bitcoin, but he's no different than you or me. He sees opportunity, and he's a contrarian.
I invested in GameStop because I thought it was cheap. I thought the intrinsic value of the business was worth more than the price that I paid. There was a tremendous amount of skepticism around GameStop. And those are the things that I like. I like looking at things where no one is looking at them. Those are usually some of the best opportunities.
The reality of our economy is that the debt doesn't work anymore. The game is up.
So the bottom line is people are beginning to realize the debt is no good. And when the debt is no good, you sell the debt. When you sell the debt, interest rates go up. When interest rates go up, the economy slows down. And so they're going to force the Federal Reserve to do the only thing the Federal Reserve really is good at and knows how to do, which is print money, which is basically just putting water in the beer. So the beer's no good anymore. So that's going to force us into a situation where, you know, Bitcoin is, I mean, there's no limit on how high Bitcoin can go. There's no limit on how high gold can go, because there's really no limit on how low the dollar can go.
Like Larry Lepard says, adding debt at this point is just like pouring water in beer. There's no limit to how high Bitcoin can go because there's no limit to how low the dollar can go. On days like these, we need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. And that's exactly what we're going to do. This is Dante Cook with Bitcoin Simply. Let's go. What's up, everybody? I just got back from Mining Disrupt in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, hanging out with hundreds of you crazy Bitcoiners from all across the globe. And I'm pretty wiped, but I'm pretty excited. And it's because I'm truly grateful for all of you people who watch this show. It really means a lot, and it was awesome to meet you all in person and to be on this journey in Bitcoin with you. But one of the most amazing things about these conferences, people will come up to me, they watch these videos, and they'll say, Dante, what's the other thing that you're investing in that's not Bitcoin? And I'm not gassing myself right now, but honestly, I pretty much respond just like Michael Saylor.
There's no second best.
I said it was a brief follow-up.
A short answer. There's $1 trillion of smart capital invested in this network. 99% of the electricity driving crypto security is in this network. 99% of digital power of hash rate is in this network. 99% of the political support, of the brand acceptance, of the regulatory acceptance is in this network. It's the winner, right? Don't sell the winner to buy the loser. And you've got a winner. It's like debating with John D. Rockefeller saying, I think petroleum sort of works, but I have to find the next form of liquid fuel. Or debating with Oppenheimer saying, yeah, I know your nuclear bomb works, but I just want a different one. Or debating, with Westinghouse saying, I know your AC electricity, it works, and electricity is kind of cool, but I want to find something different. It's like, we have the thing, it's going to be 1,000,000 times more valuable and scale up. We should just scale up the network.
Here's what's happening in the macroeconomy. Let me put you on game. The CBO, or the Congressional Budget Office, they just dropped some new projections that the debt-to-GDP ratio will be at 156% in 2055. That's $138 trillion worth of debt. And the crazy thing about this is this line just goes straight up and to the right. It's not assuming there's any hiccups or any recessions that are going to cause the big print. On the other side, when looking at the economy, job cuts continue to remain elevated because Doge is slashing waste and fraud and abuse in the United States government left and right now. But here's the thing. Whether it's fitness or a budget, you can't reach your goals simply by cutting. You cut out a latte, you cut some food here or there. You get the transformation by not just focusing on the liability side, but the asset side. In one of my favorite clips from Mining Disrupt with Dennis Porter, CJ Constantinos, and Larry Lepard, CJ says it well. We have to move from an economy of complacency and printing to building and production.
What is a zombie economy? Explain that a little bit. Zombie companies.
Absolutely. And this is where Bitcoin comes into play its role, because
The government borrows this money. It prints the money, it borrows the money, and it spends it back into the economy. And if that were successfully working, then our debt to GDP would be getting healthier, not worse. So we're taking these dollars, we're investing them into the economy. We're not getting back the dollar plus interest that we need to get back in order to become in a healthier position. So what do we need to do? We need to put Bitcoin on the balance sheet. We need to recognize Bitcoin is not a risk on tech stock. It is actually a pristine collateral. And just look no further than El Salvador. El Salvador has some of the best performing traditional bonds in the world. Why? Because they've added Bitcoin to their balance sheet. And that's what's making the banks increase their credit rating. So the United States of America needs to take the money it's borrowing and spend it better, spend it smarter. And you build wealth smarter with Bitcoin. So if we can put Bitcoin on the balance sheet, all of a sudden, those dollars that we're putting into the economy that are not returning more than $1 are going to return more than $1 in Bitcoin. And now we can start to strengthen our financial position, which ultimately makes the dollar a little bit more stronger, right? It gives it some more longevity so that we can really work our way out of the true problems, which are that we've become complacent and dependent upon printing instead of production.
I mean, honestly, we do have a zombie stock market right now. Where's the growth coming from outside of the Mag 7? And all of their revenues are just going back to each other. Guys have this weird, inappropriate term that we call that a circle something. They're just paying each other. And this is causing a zombie economy. The way that the math works at the government level is that when our inflation or our interest percentage is at 3, 4, 5%, when we put $1 into the economy, we're supposed to get $1.06 back, or more money than we're putting out. But it's not working. For every dollar we put out, we're getting like 98 cents back. And so the math doesn't math. And this isn't just being recognized by us on Main Street. This is being recognized in the halls of power in Congress. There's an amazing clip from a recent interview with Jason Les from Riot, Michael Saylor, and Cynthia Lummis, where Cynthia Lummis lays out the problem in great detail. But before we get to that, let's go to our sponsors real quick. Even Donald Trump knows the truth now. You're not supposed to sell your Bitcoin. And one of the ways that you can unlock liquidity in your Bitcoin without selling your Bitcoin is by going to Ledn, the leaders in Bitcoin-backed loans since 2018. They've issued over $9 billion worth of loans to over 40,000 customers, and you can get your loan funded in less than 24 hours. If you want a $10,000 loan, you have to post $20,000 worth of Bitcoin collateral. They've never lost a single cent or sat of customer money because they're one of the first digital lenders that do proof of reserves. Don't just tell me you have it, show me you have it. Get started with your loan today by going to learn.ledn.io/borrow. That's learn.ledn.io/borrow. Also, one of the things that you need to do as you continue to go on your Bitcoin journey through watching this channel is learn how to take self-custody of your Bitcoin. Become a sovereign individual by removing your keys from third parties, like exchanges, like Coinbase. But you don't just want to do this on your own. Learn from an expert. Members of the Bitcoin Way will show you exactly how to do this privately, confidently, and securely. They'll walk you through how to do this step by step. They're the experts. Schedule a free 30-minute consultation with their team at thebitcoinway.com/simplybitcoin. That's thebitcoinway.com/simplybitcoin. Let's get back to the show.
If you look from my seat in the U.S. Senate, we're trying right now to find a way to match our revenues to our expenditures, finally, for the first time since the 1990s. Even if we were to do that, which is Herculean and will take several years to do without having a dramatic impact on our economic well-being, we're still $36 trillion in debt. I don't want to hand that to my children and grandchildren. So without a Bitcoin strategic reserve that can dramatically reduce the debt, cut it in half, even if we only have 5% of all the Bitcoin in the world, we're going to have to find ways to continue to pay interest on that $36 trillion. Now, right now, the interest on that $36 trillion that Congress pays every year exceeds the amount we pay on defense, and it exceeds the amount we pay on Medicare. So if we don't find ways to diminish that debt, we are going to continue to chew up all the taxpayer dollars on interest on the national debt and have nothing to spare to keep Medicare, Social Security, our defense obligations pursuant to the U.S. Constitution.
All right, there's only two options. You've got to print or you've got to stack some Bitcoin. What other alternatives are there? Who around the world wants to buy our bonds right now? Where's the growth coming from outside of AI? The amount of cuts that we need to make are not going to outpace our liabilities in the amount that our debt is growing.
You can ignore it and let someone else benefit from it, and you can hope that your enemy doesn't control it, or you can dance with it a little bit and flirt with it, and maybe you make a little bit of money and you get a little bit of power, or you can embrace it. And if you recall, what they say about John D. Rockefeller is he was bullish on oil at the bottom, bullish on oil at the top, bullish on oil in the middle. He was always the buyer. He was never the seller. When the entire rest of the world thought oil was crazy, it was too volatile, it wasn't profitable, he believed that the future of the nation, the future of Standard Oil, was petroleum. And because of that dogged determination, the United States was the energy leader when World War I came along. We were the energy leader when World War II came along. That's why we're speaking English right now, because we embraced the idea of power: nuclear power, electrical power, chemical power, air power, naval power. The 21st century is going to be defined by digital power. Bitcoin miners are spitting out digital power by the exahash. We should control, we should own the network. And Bitcoin is digital energy. Only one nation can own the majority of it or the great plurality of it. It's either going to be us, or it's going to be our enemy, or it's going to be the next future superpower of the world. And that, why are they going to be the superpower? Because they're the ones that embrace digital energy. And why are we not going to be? Because we depended upon donkey carts and steam engines, and antiquated technology. It will pass us by. The digital energy network is the network of the AI economy. The AIs are going to think a million times faster than us. There's going to be a million times more of them. They're going to be a million times smarter than us. They're going to want to move digital energy on a digital network with a digital asset. Whoever owns, controls that network is going to be the beneficiary. I think it couldn't be clearer right now. This is an opportunity. We can buy the entire thing for a nickel. It's nearly free for us.
So we have to grow on the other side, the asset side of the balance sheet. We have to think about where the puck is going and where things are headed to in the future. Every time I watch one of these clips from Michael Saylor, I realize that regardless of whether he's talking about the United States government, a institution, a corporation like MicroStrategy or GameStop, we have the same exact opportunity as they do. There's no inside job with Bitcoin. You spend less than you make, and you save your excess discretionary dollars in an asset that will protect it for the long term. You skate to where the puck is going, not where it is. Don't be like Brooke Lopez, who doesn't even see what's happening. Be like Jokic. See the cutter, see the play before it happens. Here's how I see it. Grandma, right here, doesn't care that there's a game going on. She knows where she's going and nothing is going to stop her. And we're in the middle of a game right now, but you've got to keep your eyes on the other side of the court. Stay locked in on Bitcoin, avoid distractions. There is no second best. Have a great weekend. It was great seeing you all in Florida, and I really hope that I get to hang out with more of you next week in Dallas, Texas at the BitBlockBoom conference from April 3rd through April 6th. One of the things that I love about these Bitcoin events is that we're all Bitcoiners. We're all on the same playing field, and we're just kind of fun people that have like-minded beliefs and love to do fun stuff. And that's exactly what we're all going to get to do in the different workshops, as well as the different parties and side events going on at BitBlockBoom, like the Saturday casino night. Get $100 off your all-inclusive ticket by going to bitblockboom.com and using the promo code BBB25. That's bitblockboom.com and using the promo code BBB25. Can't wait to see you guys there. This is Dante Cook with Bitcoin Simply. And if you get value from these videos, please do like, share, subscribe to the channel, or share them with family, friends, and loved ones who need to hear this message, who don't understand what's going on, and who don't see where the ball is going. Have a great weekend and happy stacking.